Good evening, Christine of Red Soul. Thanks for tuning into this video and happy Thursday to each and every one of you. I wasn't going to do a video. I was considering doing a live, but this is only going to be brief because as you know that things are just getting out of hand. Now, this in particular story is a bit unique because we have black on black racism here. And I'm going to go into that in a minute. What usually black conservatives are called. Okay. I think I haven't been called a name in particular, but like not the stereotypical names, but I think Oreo came close to it, but just Black America's general reactions whenever they saw me, especially in Chicago. This is where I mostly received the most um, same race discrimination. In Illinois, when I went to college as well, um, just a bunch of mocking and passive aggressiveness, but not to put the particular post-slavery names that we're usually called. Uncle Tom being a famous one. I won't repeat the others because they can be quite brutal. And in addition to telling us to get biscuits from Master. Okay. I like biscuits. I don't mind just as long as I have raspberry jam and honey on mine. So this BLM activist in New York by the name of Hawk Newsome. Now this fella is quite a radical. He's like a Louis Farrakhan. That's the best way I can describe him. Very emotional, angry, um, hostile towards any non-black person, a black person that he think is just traitor as he responds to the New York mayor, Eric Adams. I think I did a story about him, how he responded to BLM during this early terrorist attack when that this loser got arrested for attacking and shooting people in the subway car. Him, okay? I believe you can go back. I did a live on that. And the mayor responded, okay, what about BLM? And so that triggered Mr. Newsom. Now, the first time I heard about this gentleman, and I say that loosely, was on Candace Owens' show back when she was working for PragerU. And she also invited him, along with Brandon Tatum, on her current show in Nashville, Tennessee, under the Daily Wire named Candace. So he's quite a mouthpiece out there. He's in addition to Candace Owens shows, he's been, he was interviewed. That's when I first heard about him. That's right. He was first interviewed by Martha McCullum on her early daytime show a couple of times. No, but I think about two or three times. And I don't know why. She really has a lot of patience with this person. The things he says out of his mouth is he used a racial slur against white people when he talked about Jesus. So the Black Conservative Perspective did a great job on this. I think his real name is Brian. I'm not sure, but if you get a chance, check it out. Check him out and subscribe to his channel. So he did a good job doing the clips because I didn't get to watch the whole video because only the TV show The Five, played little clips of it when he called them the racial slur. I think that was the big one. And then, the black conservative played like this part and this part. It may have been only like 8 minutes long. But he calls the mayor when he started out his interview. So This was on, excuse me, pardon me. He was on American Newsroom with Bill Hummer and Dana Perino. And Mr. Hummer asked, he started out by reading the quote by the mayor, okay, because that's how they usually start the interviews. And then he, said, we know white lives matter, all lives matter. And then he closed it like in so many words. And so that triggered Mr. Newsome. So he said, "Oh, I like how you ease white lives matter in there because we all know like white lives matter. Everybody moves when white person people get killed, but when black people get killed, no one says anything." And then he contradicts himself and says, "Hey, we can use more something about policing. We've been working in our communities." So he already gave himself the answer how he would respond if something happens to a black life. He talked about donating toys to children because I think he lives in the Bronx. Okay, I'm familiar with the Bronx. I used to live and work there. It's not a bed of roses. Okay, especially certain areas, unless you're in Riverdale. Okay, that's more middle class. But yeah, he talked about the things that he's doing. So he's already making solutions and doing things in his community. So why is he angry and attacking cops and the mayor and Fox News? Okay, I'm not going to go into race because I don't know who else he's been speaking to. He's been on a few podcasts. I'm just looking by strolling like different videos on YouTube. Don't tend to watch him because listening to someone like that, uh, there's really no substance because it's all emotion. It's not being logical and then coming up with a solution. Yes, we have this problem with black males, da 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 da. Okay, this is what should be done. Let me, as a black man, instead of victim blaming, show them, what it is to be a man. Or start a all black boys organization. Join the Black Boy Fathers Club. Or start our son, because that's really the problem, the family. These boys, when they're growing up, when they reach a certain age, you think they're going to spend time in the kitchen with their mothers? No, they're going to go out and find influence outside. And if the mother is working, he's mostly spending his time in school, so he's hanging with other boys, playing basketball, probably even giving each other gang handshakes. I've seen that throughout school with black boys. I'm sure Hispanics and whites do it too, but growing up on the south side of Chicago, that's what I mostly saw there, in between classes. Hey, what's up, man? Blah, blah, blah. And doing all these crazy hand signals with gang signs. So that's where really their influences come from. So, yeah, I mean, I think this fella is smarter than that. And then he's saying that poverty leads to crime. I don't. I think it's the complete opposite. Because if you're poor, you're gonna be thinking about getting your next scraps and finding uh, ways to make money, especially if you have a family, to be able to feed your family. So yeah, it's actually the complete opposite. Crime leads to poverty. If you have a criminal record, you have a hard time finding a job. I was at a seminar. I won't name the name of the organization, but it's a very high federal government organization where you can't have any felony convictions, including with a polygraph, number of years you must stay in the United States, haven't taken marijuana within a year, haven't taken any drug substance for 10 years. I'm not saying everybody can get a federal job, but if you want to make a decent living, you know, uh, nothing against people working at fast food chains. I mean, they may give you a chance and they may not. Because depending on your crime, do you honestly think a bank is going to hire a former bank robber? God forbid if a person has committed murder. So, it's the complete opposite. You choose to do the crime, you have to do the time. And then when you get out, you can't blend in with society. Also witness this. And then guess where they're going right back to? As Morgan Freeman said in that movie Shawshank Redemption, I'm an institutionalized man now. So no, poverty has nothing to do with it. I mean, yeah, of course, poor people commit crimes, rich people commit crimes too. Maybe white collar crimes, but they can still commit crimes. Dealing with fraud and things like that, those are still crimes too. In fact, and I know this because growing up poor and living in um, the poorest areas as a Peace Corps volunteer, the only thing they told us to be careful with is, as a woman, not to invite a man in your house, even if you're just friends. So that's the only crime that I would have heard of as far as living amongst the poor, and it's nowhere near like the United States unless you go to the Appalachian Mountains. So that's all I have this evening. That's all I want to pour in my heart. Let me know what you think. I always forget to tell you this. Like, share, subscribe. Yes, even if you know ignorant people in your life, someone had commented about that yesterday. Even if you know ignorant people in your life, you can share this too. They just may learn something. And I really appreciate you all sharing your input of your experiences hanging with, whether they were with other whites or other black conservatives that you witnessed experienced the same hostility that Mr. Newsome called this mayor. Christina Red Soul, pray for our nation, pray for our brothers and sisters in the persecuted church, and I'll talk to you super soon.